Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one. And welcome to another episode of a game of throws in World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. This, in the amazingly good Pan-American Tier 10 battleship the Libertad, is Aaron Gaming Network. He's starting on the weak flank, just a stone's throw away from Cap Circle Charlie, with only 2 team members as backup, and reasonably and politely asks the team's aircraft carrier, because, yep, it's a carrier battle, for support on the side where the team is weakest. Naturally, the carrier completely ignores him, which means that the smart option for Aaron in the Libertad, the Andalusia, and the Marceau, who are his only teammates on this end of the map, would be to play defensively, because it is extremely likely, although not guaranteed, that they're going to be heavily outnumbered up here. Now, if you concentrate and pay very, very close attention to the chat box, you'll notice the Marceau up there informing his teammates exactly where he's going to go and what his intentions are when he gets there. Can you see it? No, you can't. And not just because the text is scrolled up, but because all he did was ping map square alpha 9. In the Marceau's mind, that's him educating his team on exactly where he's going and what his intentions are when he gets there. I mean, it's better than being mute, I suppose, but only marginally. So, in a while, when Aaron gets a bit upset with the Marceau, wanting to know what the hell he's doing, and the Marceau says, I told you exactly what I was going to do, that's what the Marceau's referring to, just so you understand. While we're on the subject of teammates, the friendly cruiser, the Andalusia here, based on what you can see, purely from Aaron's perspective, he does not appear to be an awful lot of use to the team alive. He certainly appears to be completely oblivious to the fact that massive 12-gun battleships are sailing on his starboard beam. However, don't judge him too harshly, because even though we never actually see him doing anything useful, that doesn't mean he isn't. It's just that, we're watching this from Aaron's perspective, not the Andalusia's. Anyway, at this point, I'm fairly sure that Aaron is attempting to figure out just exactly how deep in the shit they are up here, because there's a whole mess of enemy ships down to the southwest. And as far as he can tell, there's only 3 enemy ships up here that he knows about. 2 that he has seen, the Alaska and the Ipiranga, and, well, now he's seen the Tromp as well. He knew the Tromp was there because somebody was flipping the cap and, well, somebody just dropped a couple of Tromp airstrikes on him. But that is only 3 confirmed enemy ships. I mean, there could be more, but there's a good chance that the 3 that they've seen are, in fact, the only 3 that are here. So it might be possible to play this a little more aggressively than they may have originally intended, although the Andalusia is obviously having none of it. And there goes the Marceau. Aaron just posed the question in chat, Marceau, what the fuck? Obviously the Marceau's a little busy at the moment and doesn't really have time to stop and answer the question because he's busy forcing the Tromp out of the cap circle. Took a lot of damage doing it, but he did succeed. And it's worth pointing out that the cap circle here at Charlie is the only cap circle that Aaron's team have even a prayer of taking at the moment. And they're only in that position because the Marceau rushed the Tromp. And while Aaron might not agree with the Marceau's tactics, he's at least going to try to back them up. Full salvo of 16-inch high explosive loaded, especially for the Tromp. 1 hit. Unbelievable. Unfortunately, the lack of a kill on the Tromp there, which, honestly, Aaron was robbed, it is going to get the Marceau killed. Well, it's not the only thing that's going to get the Marceau killed. Challenging a cap circle in a Marceau is one of the things that's going to get the Marceau killed. Because challenging a cap circle contested by another destroyer early on in the battle when you're in a Marceau is an extremely brave thing to do. Because the Marceau has garbage stealth and no smokescreen. So while the Marceau did chase that Tromp out of the cap circle, and he did sink him, ensuring that he wasn't going to be able to retake the cap, it did cost the Marceau his life, which was kind of predictable. He does also now at least have the time to tell Aaron that, lol, I told you from the start where I'm going. Well, you didn't though, did you? You pinged the map square, it's not the same thing, but, well, whatever. Doesn't really matter, but we can at least say this of the Marceau. He was of use to his team alive, which is not something that you can often say of most of your teammates in any kind of online multiplayer game. And here comes the Andalusia again. He's doing it again. You can see why I made the point earlier to caution you all that while it looks like the Andalusia is no use to his team alive, based purely on what you can see of his performance from Aaron's perspective, do not be deceived. He is actually a useful teammate. He just appears to have difficulty steering. Unsurprisingly, Aaron's team are getting their arse kicked. They're down 2 destroyers and a cruiser. They have less than 200 points and they do not hold a single cap circle, although they are threatening to take the cap at Alpha. Aaron and the Andalusia, because they're getting no help from anybody else, are going to have to deal with the Alaska and the Ipiranga on their own. And just as Aaron is steaming in to do exactly that, the team lose another cruiser. They're now down to 140 points with the enemy team on 454. As he closes in to attempt to finish off the Alaska, and bearing in mind there's an Ipiranga out there somewhere as well, take a look at the map because they're no longer alone up here. A pair of Alsace battleships are now in shooting range after taking the central cap at Bravo. Secondaries focused on the Alaska should, in fact, does finish him off. The Libertad has amazingly good 9.2 inch secondaries. Unfortunately, he is now steaming straight into a crossfire, so he has to choose because he can't angle against both of the Alsaces and the Ipiranga over there. And the Ipiranga is definitely the lesser of 2 evils. Actually, technically, I suppose you should say the lesser of 3 evils, but either way, it's a choice he has to make, and then he has to attempt to live with it. Takes a quick look at where the Alsaces are, focuses his secondaries on the Ipiranga, and it's at this point where he notices that the Ipiranga is turning around to port, which means all of its guns are also turning around to port, which means none of them are pointing at him anymore. This gives him the opportunity to improve his angle against the 2 Alsaces. Look, all the Ipiranga's guns are pointing in the wrong direction, well, aside from the secondaries. But he can deal with that. Well, hopefully. I mean, not for too long. But he will need to finish the Ipiranga off. And he is getting some assistance from the Andalusia. And honestly, I think he's got him. Or the Andalusia has. Yep, he's got him. There's another close quarters expert award. So now he's in a good position to deal with these. Well, I say he's in a good position to deal. Nobody's ever in a good position to deal with a pair of Alsaces solo. But he's in a better position than he was. He doesn't have to worry about the Ipiranga spanking his broadside. The situation's actually starting to look up for the team. Both teams have 4 kills. Both teams have 1 cap circle. And, I mean, under fire from a pair of French tier 9 battleships as he is, he's unlikely to be able to take this cap, but at least the enemy team aren't taking it either. And even if he can't take this cap, the Andalusia, up to the northeast, way up to the northeast, has just turned around from trying to escape into the next map and is heading in this direction, and he should be able to take it. This is not going to be a walk in the park, however. He's still fighting 2 Alsaces. He had a double fire. He's down to 1/3 of his hit points. His heal's on cooldown. His damage control is on cooldown, but it's about to come off. Is he going to use it? How long does he have left on? Yeah, he's using it. Okay. And here's where things have the potential to go horribly, horribly wrong. The Alsace on his starboard side gets away into cover behind an island on less than 6,000 hit points. Aaron was obviously hoping to kill him so he could focus his attention solely on the other Alsace, but now he has to worry about that guy spanking his broadside. Oh, here it comes. Okay, that wasn't good. Could have been worse. But it also could have been a lot better. His return salvo could have hit and sunk that first Alsace, and instead he now has the opportunity to do one of 2 things. Come out from around the side of that island by steaming full speed ahead and spank Aaron's broadside, or stay behind the island, heal up, and actually, no, the Andalusia just sank him. Okay, well that is definitely a weight off Aaron's shoulders, because now we can focus attention solely on the remaining Alsace up ahead, who just run out of friends. Unfortunately, Aaron is also kind of running out of friends a little himself, because, I mean, he's still got the Andalusia up here, but while all that was going on, his team just lost a further 2 ships, including an Alsace of their own, and their aircraft carrier. And they're still more than 100 points behind, although a couple of kills can soon change, and then they've just lost the Yugamo. Hey, there he goes. Finished off the Alsace. Why is the Andalusia not taking that cap circle at Charlie? Can anybody think of a good reason why the Andalusia is not taking that cap circle at Charlie? Because if he's got some kind of cunning master plan that's way too complicated for noobs like me to understand, I'd really appreciate if he'd just share it with the rest of us. I think Aaron's come to this conclusion as well. Cap circle at Charlie, completely open. Gee, if only we had a fast cruiser nearby who could do something about it. Oh, okay, he's responded in the affirmative. All right, fair enough. Confidence in the Andalusia restored. So, things have gone quiet. I mean, they're still 100 points behind. And the kills are still actually even, which is kind of surprising, but given the flurry of kills that just got exchanged, it was difficult to keep track of exactly who was sinking who. However, they are still 100 points behind, so taking that cap circle at Charlie is going to be critical. Now, it may have escaped your attention in all the excitement, but this is actually an episode of A Game of Throws. Oh, and there goes the friendly Littorio. And Aaron's spotted. You know what that is, don't you? It's not the Venezia he's just unloaded on. That's the enemy destroyer, the Barfleur, all the way down to the south, who chased down the friendly carrier. As far as the Venezia is concerned, he at least is no longer a problem. It's kill number 4. That's 295,000 damage, by the way. That's a high caliber award to go with the 2 close quarters experts. Now, if at this point you're sitting there thinking, enemy destroyer, the Barfleur, what the hell's a Barfleur? Yeah, I know, I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. Some kind of British Tier 9 destroyer. Beyond that, I haven't got a clue. World of Warships is rapidly approaching the point. In fact, it may have already passed the point, much as it has been for me in World of Tanks for many, many years now, where I just gave up trying to keep track of all the new stuff that's been introduced, all the fancy new premiums and the gizmos and gadgets and the funny buttons. It's just too much, too often for me to even begin bothering to try to stay up to date. But anyway, yeah. Almost certainly, who's got him tagged and is chasing him up from the southeast, because, I mean, where else would he be going? So Aaron really cannot afford to dilly-dally with a destroyer chasing his ass. He's got some good shots on the Oregon there, though. And, oh hell yes, not bad at all. Unfortunately, he now has the attention of the enemy aircraft carrier. Oh, and the team have just lost the HMS Lion. The Barfleur's torpedoed it, and those shots coming in from the left, that's the Barfleur, who's now managed to get close enough. He did just get spotted momentarily, but he's now smoked up, and he's farming Aaron for damage. And aside from continuing to head away from the Barfleur until he deals with the Oregon over there, there's not an awful... There it is! Okay, there's the Kraken Unleashed. 5th kill, obviously, 340,997 damage. There's the Barfleur down to the south. Nothing he can do about it. The team do now have 2 of the cap circles, and the central cap here is contested by none other than Aaron himself. Now he's thinking about dealing with the Preußen, but it looks like the Preußen is actually occupied with the Yamato down to the south, so instead he's going to risk it for a biscuit, turn away, attempt to angle away from the Preußen, stay out of range of his guns, maybe outrun the firing range of the Barfleur to the south, and then hopefully, with some help from the Andalusia maybe, deal with the enemy aircraft carrier. That seems to be the plan. Unfortunately, the Preußen hasn't forgotten about him, and that's 10,000 damage he could have probably done without. Takes another torpedo from the Graf Zeppelin, and he is on fire. He has managed to get the Witherer and the Confederate award though. The question is, can he finish off the Graf Zeppelin before the Graf Zeppelin's dive bombers finish him off? There's the damage control. He's put the fire out. It's only going to buy him a couple of seconds though, because here come the dive bombers. Shots on target. Apparently not, no. Oh, well, that wouldn't have made any difference. Whether he'd sunk the Graf Zeppelin or not, the Graf Zeppelin's dive bombers took him out. But the Andalusia was able to finish off the job that he started, took out the Graf Zeppelin. So it's a 2-on-2. And the team are ahead on points. There's not an awful lot in it. The Yamato actually appears to have a working brain. He's not trying to angle against the Preußen. He's going nose in, because angling against another battleship in the Yamato just exposes your cheek armour vulnerability and gets your citadel from the front. So good job, Yamato. Unfortunately for everyone concerned, the Preußen also has a working brain, because while Aaron is giving the advice in chat, and it is good advice, ram the Preußen. It's risky, but if you ram the Preußen, because he does have a hit point advantage, the Andalusia should be able to finish off the Barfleur by itself. Unfortunately, the Preußen is also equally aware of that. He can see what the Yamato's doing, and instead of shooting at the Yamato, he makes a big brain decision and shoots at the Andalusia instead. Oh shit. And now the Yamato's committed. And the Preußen knew exactly what he was doing. Was that a game-winning big brain move from the Preußen as the Barfleur reveals himself with the Andalusia on 2,000 hit points? With armor piercing loaded for shooting at a destroyer and on fire with the damage control active with 374 hit points left. I don't think the heal's going to cut it, mate. Because if just one of those torpedoes, yeah, there it goes. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And it was all going so well. Ram the Preußen and let the full health Andalusia deal with the Barfleur. It wasn't a bad plan. Right up until the point where it very suddenly was. And it was pretty much all thanks to the Preußen making the right decision in the heat of the moment. I mean, well done to the Preußen, and good job Barfleur as well on top of the enemy team. But Aaron, 2,070 base experience on a defeat. And the Yamato as well. I mean, we didn't see much of the battle from his perspective. He was at the other end of the map for most of it. But 1,300 base XP on a defeat as well. That's a couple of players who probably want to go and lie down in a dark room after that battle ended. But I hope you enjoyed witnessing their misery, because that's it for today. As always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.